And we are on the air, gapi, keapi. We use that word a lot today, keapi. That's kind of like, what do you call that? When you talk about people, what do you call it? Keapi. Keapi do. Rumors, yeah. Rumors, yeah.
Gossip?
Gossip, yeah. Keapi. That's what they said, right? Instead of owning that phrase or whatever you talked about, you don't want to own it, so you say keapi do. That's what they said. I didn't say that. Mehe peshne. Yeah. Keapi do. That's what they said. This evening we come together again to talk a little bit Dakota. Dakota. I like the sign for Dakota like this one. Dakota. So we'll be going back to what we've been talking about, what we've been learning past few months. It was fun. It was a necessity, I guess, that we learn the language. Why I say that today is because it's very important that you know your language, especially our wotakuye, our relatives, oichahu sampa, the medicine line, oichahu sampata, our relatives. Over there they have a new leader that's questioning their American citizens or are you Aboriginal? They're questioning your Indianness, I guess. So right about now, even up here in Canada, it's the same. Now we always get questioned whether we are who we say we are. I say I'm Dakota. Damakota. I'm a Dakota. Dakota UI. Dakota UI. And that proves who I am. And today, across the medicine line, people are worried. Some people are getting picked up off the street. You have to prove your citizenship. And the only way you can do that is if you can prove and use the language. Dakota, Iyayekte, you speak Dakota. But if you truly, really understand what citizenship is, to be a citizen of America, or to be a citizen of Canada, such as us up here, as Dakota. We say we are Dakota Nation, okay? And here's Dakota Nation, and here's Canadian Nation. They're supposed to be separate. Dakota can only be citizen of Dakota Nation. Canada can only have Canadian citizens. They must stand facing each other, keep each other honest. That's how sovereignty works. Sovereignty is memi hidoyekte. I will take myself, I will look after myself, I will care for myself and my people. That's the word for sovereignty. Memi hidoyekte. I will look after myself. I wanted to talk about that for a little bit because today it's important. That's the only way you can have sovereignty, and that word has been thrown around quite a bit this past while, especially now. What is sovereignty? Sovereignty, Creator gives you that. Creator gives you sovereignty over the territory that He gives you to thrive and to live in. With a language, with a culture, with a law, with a religion, if you want to call it. and its citizenry. That's what constitutes a nation, a sovereign nation. And that's what's been questioned today, not only in Canada, but in the United States as well. So, how important is it? I'm going to use a little bit of this little booklet here. Dakota Wichoie, Dakota Sayings, a survival booklet. How true is that today? A survival booklet. We will survive with our language. Survival as a Dakota person, individual, a sovereign individual, a sovereign community, with its territory, with its language, with its laws, with its religion. All these things must be satisfied in order to be a sovereign person. I read somewhere, this is just for information for our American cousins, relatives down that way. Today, your leader is questioning people, rather questioning them about the birthright as a citizen, birthright citizenry. When you're born in America, territorial limits of the United States of America, just by being born, you become an American citizen, a citizen of the United States of America. And that's what's being questioned. And but I read somewhere a few years back, and it might have something to do with the 14th Amendment down there about citizenship. Somewhere I read, and this is about the Indians down there. Somewhere I read, and those of you that are researchers or historians down there, maybe you can research this and maybe you can find it. I read somewhere where there is a statute, a law that was made back in the 1800s probably, where it reads something like this. It reads like something like, those Indians born within the territorial limits of the United States of America. Now think about that. Those Indians born within the territorial limits of the United States of America are not born within the territorial limits of the United States of America. Think about that. I read that somewhere. Meaning that the government of the United States of America cannot make an Indian a citizen of the United States of America because it goes against international law. That's how I understand that. I just thought I'll mention that because of all the things that are going on today. Who are we as Dakota? Who are we? Who am I? Matue, who am I? Matue is my Indian name, not the Washichu name that was given to me and registered in Ottawa. No, that's for their purpose. But who am I? Who am I, truly, is my Indian name. Wakin o ichiwa, that's me. Mataku, what am I? I'm a Dakota. I'm a Dakota. Toketan wahi, where do I come from? From Dakota territory. Makokashpe, the territory of Dakota. That's where I'm from. That makes me a citizen of Dakota. Only in Dakota, not outside of it. I'm sovereign within Dakota territory, not outside of it, because somebody else is sovereign on the outside of that. This is what Creator gave me. That's what we have to protect with language. Ocheti Shakoi Ayape, the seven council fires, extending from the United States up into Canada, going this way to Alberta. There's a map called Arrowsmith map, 1857. Arrowsmith map. It shows the Dakota Territory in Canada. And that's being questioned today in courts, whether we are Canadians. I say I'm not a Canadian. I'm a Dakota from my own territory. I'm not a Canadian. I can't be a Canadian. I don't have an agreement with Ottawa. I have an allyship with the British Crown, yes. But that doesn't make me a British citizen. No, I'm a citizen of my own nation. So in that 1857 map, it shows the territory of Dakota, and there was like 30,000 Dakotas, 30,000 Dakotas north of the 49th parallel. There was many of us. Many of us. So from 1857 to 1867, 10 years later, Yukchampo, think about that. Yukchampo. 1857 in Dakota Territory, there was at least 20,000 Dakota, at least. 10 years later, when Canada became Canada, 1867, where did the 20,000 Dakotas go? Yukchampoitaha. Think about that. Dan Unchonanape, there's a few now, what we used to be as Ocheti Shakoi. 7 council fires, that's our government. The fire is going down a little bit. It's not burning bright the way it used to before Canada became Canada or United States became United States. That's when Ocheti Shakoi fire was at its highest. But it's still here though. We just got to rekindle it a little bit. The spark is still there. Ocheti Shakoi Ide, it's on fire. Ide, I should write that down. Ide, it's on fire, on fire, on fire. Ide, it's on fire. But that fire is not, the flame is not as high anymore because we don't practice it anymore, hardly. It's still there for us to take. We'll take it up again. We can do that by learning the language. We teach ourselves. So that fire is not as, the flame is not as high, but you know, it's still going. The sparks are still there. Spark, okay? Spark. How do you say that in Dakota? Sparky. Sparky. Spark. Pechniga. Pechniga. Huh? Pechniga. Pechniga. That's like this. Pe. Ni. Ga. Pe.
Is that a G?
Huh?
Is that a G?
This is a G, yeah. That's an N. The spark is there. It's sparking. It's sparky. We just gotta fan it a little bit and bring that Ocheti Shakoi up again. Because the Pachniga is still there. It didn't totally go out. Make it Ide again. So the Pachniga is there. We gotta work with that. Work with your Pachniga. Bring it up. Talk to the Pechniga. Help us. Let's get it going. So that is the importance of who we're supposed to be. Who are we as Ocheti Shakoi members? Ocheti Shakoi, 7 council fires. people talk about Iukchampe. Where did we get the 7 council fires? Where did we get that name from? It's been said, I don't know how true it is, it's been said that the 7 council fires comes from the universe. Machpia. Machpia is the universe, the cosmos. We chincha da shakoi ape. We chincha da shakoi. 7 girls. That's the star system. Pleiades. 7 sisters. We chiana girls. We chiana. We chiena girls. The star system Pleiades, Wichiana Shakoi, 7 girls. So that's where they say the 7 council fires of Dakota starts from. 7 council fires. 7 teepees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pretend those are teepees. I'm not a good drawer, but you get the idea. 7 council fires. Look at this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The logo for Wipazokawakpa, Saskatoon River, Sioux Valley. 7 council fires. Wichiana Shakoi. 7 girls, 7 sisters. That's who we are. The fire might not be as bright anymore, but there's spark there, pechniga there. We have to fan, get it going. Ake idekte. How do we do that? By learning the language. Ake Dakota unkeapte. Ake Lakota unkeapte. Ake Nakota unkeapte. That's how you fan the flame. By practicing, then the fire will idekte. The flames will be high. That reminds me of using hand language. Sign language. Kunshi used to tell me that. Everybody knew in the plains, everybody knew how to do the sign language, and they can converse in sign language. Sign language. Sign lang. Wiyuta. Ta. By gestures, wiyuta, gesture. Wiyuta wohadaka, wohadaka. Wiyuta wohadaka, gestures, communicate.
So is that why people sometimes still talk like that? Because it's a form of sign language?
It's a form of sign language, yeah. They say Dakota Sign Language or the Plains Indian Sign Language, and there's many different, I shouldn't say many, but several different ways that, some other tribes will use a little bit of difference, Remember we're talking about that one, to go over, and akan and stuff like that, yeah. Of course, used to say, we're using gestures, signs, right, to talk. That reminds me of a story. I'll talk about it. And I'll talk about this story. It's kind of funny. see if you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to talk about, I say it in Dakota, Tokahaya, firstly in Dakota. Iwaikta. Now, think of a scenario where there's a country store, there's a reservation nearby. All the Indians go to the country store. All the old guys will be sitting under the shade over there. I'll be talking, wohodakapi, titokanyakapi, visiting. Titokan is visiting. Wohodakapi, hicha. Oba, old guys. Under the shade. And over here there's some old guys too, washichu. Washichu, old guys over here. They're listening. They're watching. The old Dakotas over there. Okay. Dakota obagina ohanze ukhadate yakap. Wohodakapi. Kapopa periat kampi. Iswakadiape. Pijurta sapa yatkamba. Takat katana ohanze gediakaba. Wohodakap. Titokayakap. Oshi hede wohodak. Okay. Chtani ha istohani wihini ike. Wihini Tachtje kuteke. Papshon jupe. Hiya yonka. Tachtje kindeka hiya. Maza kain kikziga. Kuteke. Oje bohemia. Ake ojianika, ake te kuteke. Hey, chachar ke de ohadak. Chandecho washichu gana ktaito yakap de. Washichu chachar gana. Naka de oje kuteke. Ake oje apazo na look, he's going to shoot again. Ake such washichu de. He can understand what the Indian was talking about. These old guys, they're sitting at the outside the general store, the town by the reserve there. It was a hot day, so the old guys are sitting under the shade there having a drink of Pepsi or coffee. They're talking, visiting. Over here on this side, there's old white guys, old farmers sitting over there. They're watching what the Dakotas are doing over there. And this one Dakota was talking about going hunting the other day. Tachtje. He said he seen one, he was running, so he shot one. These old guys, the Washichu old guys are watching him. There's another one running, so he was going to shoot him. So that old white guy was saying, look, he's going to shoot another one again because he can understand what he was gesturing, right? Hand talk. He could understand what he was talking about. The old guys used to talk about that and laugh, right? But, it was, I don't know if it's universal, but back in the day, anyway, a lot of people used to do hand gestures, hand talking. And it's an important way of communicating between different tribes. When they sit, they can gesture and communicate that way. That's what Kunshi used to say. Wiyuta wohodakapi, wiyuta, by gesture. So I thought I'll mention that a little bit as to who we are as Dakota. Untuepi, who are we? Untuepi. We are Dakota. Daonkotapi dina, us. Daonkota. So when we talk about being Dakota, we have to practice it. We got to do it. And I was looking at these books. These books are so valuable for those of you that are truly interested in learning the language. I know it costs money, but you can't put a value on your language. Dakota language is a beautiful language. One time we were down in Rapid City, around 2009, 2010. Of course, it's a language conference, and the Canadian contingent, we went to one of the restaurants down there, and we're gathered around a table like this. We're we were eating, but it was kind of a buffet over there. And there's an Asian family sitting there, an Asian family. And of course, when we were there, we were laughing and talking Dakota. Okay, the elderly Asian lady there, she motioned to me, so I said, what kind of language are you guys talking? It's such a beautiful language, she said. So I never heard anybody say that before. I told her, actually we were here for a language conference, and the language that we're talking is Dakota, I said. Dakota language. There's 3 dialects, Dakota, Nakota, and Lakota, I told her. Where you are, Rapid City, South Dakota, this is Lakota territory. A little bit different from Dakota. And she said, that is a beautiful language. She said, I hope you're successful in what you're doing, she said, to promote and use the language. No, this was an Asian lady that told me that. I thought that was awesome, I was happy that another race of humans, if you want to call them, put it that way, thought that our language was beautiful, and it is. If you hear the spoken language going back and forth, it's a beautiful language, but it is ours. It is ours, and we should be using it. So these are valuable books. This is from I think Minnesota, compiled by Harlan LaFontaine, Neil McKay. I'll use a little bit of this tonight. I'll use some. Dakota Wichoi. Last couple of weeks, I was saying, in everyday conversation, there's only so many words that you can use to get by in one day to talk. Maybe I would say 100 to maybe 200 different words. That's about it. And you can converse all day just with those few words, couple of hundred words. You can sit and talk. Dakota yapte. Whatever that can be talked about, you can do it with about 200 or 300 words. And that's simple. But you have to understand each word, what you're talking about. Words like this morning, this morning, how are you doing? 3 words. How are you doing this morning? The answer might be, Tayan wa do. 3 words. Tayan wa I'm well, I'm doing well. Tayan wa do. Nisto. What about you? Nisto. Mija. Me too. Mija. Tayan wa do. Shteda. Ampetu kinde, this day. Ampetu kinde. Takto kanukta hai. What are you going to do this day? That's the kind of conversation we have every day, every morning, right? When you meet your buddies, hey, how are you doing today, Oh, I'm fine, What about you? Oh, I'm doing all right. What are you going to do today? That's what I just said in Dakota. That's the kind of conversation I'm talking about. I just used about 4, 5, 6 maybe different Dakota words to have that short conversation. And that's what I mean. You only use so many Dakota words, I'll say about 200, and have a fruitful conversation in one day. 200 words. Because I'll be talking like that to you, those 6 words that I used. And we'll go about our business. Okay, we'll go and do that, right? Okay, again, you meet a different person. You use the same ones again. Same thing again. Huh? How many words did I use? What, 6 or 7, right? Different words. So you go down the road again, you meet another Tash again. Hey, you know? Oh, Pamaz. I have a headache. Oh, you gotta take an aspirin. You know. Like that, right? Aspirin. You put it in your mouth. Iopta. Opta is across, across. Iopta, aspirin. Should I write that down?
Yes.
E is your mouth, right?
Yeah.
E.
I.
Yeah. E.
O.
E-O. E-O. It might be an O. Eopta. E. Eopta. 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 This is an O. Yeah. Eopta. E. Ye. Ya. P. Aspirin. Or any kind of medicine, right? Iopta ieapi. Iopta ieapi. Iopta. Yeah, yeah. Iopta ieapi. Aspirin, yeah.
There's a mouse over there.
Pamaza. I have a headache. Oh. Iopta ieapi oji ichua.
I-R-I-N.
Iopta ieapi oji ichua. Uniwashtekte do. You'll feel better. It'll make you feel better. Uniwashtekte. Iopta ieapi ichua. Uniwashtekte. Feel better. Feel better. Because we all have headaches once in a while, right? Feel better. O ni wash te te. For women, for females, how do you say that? Oni wash te ye, right? Oni wash te ye. It'll make you feel better. Iopta yapi. Uniwashtekte, you'll feel better. Uniwashtekte. Yes, you got it. And for the male, we say do, right? Do. Uniwashtekte do. So now I've used how many? About 10 words, right? 10 Dakota words. Yeah. I've used about 10 Dakota words. And we've carried on a conversation. And then after that, after our greetings, how are you doing? Oh, I have a headache, and oh, Misha, I'm okay, nishto, and all that. So now, we've finished our greetings and said, I'm going to go to town. And we talked about this before. I'm going to go to town. Nothing in particular. You're just going to go buying something, right? But you could be more specific and say, I'm going to go purchase some aguyapi. Or tado opewatukte. I'm going to purchase some meat. But instead of saying those specific words, you can say, I'm going to go purchasing. I'm going to go buying. Okay? I'm going to go to town. Wo pay to. Purchasing. Purchasing. Huh?
Purchasing or buying?
Yeah, same, yeah. How do you spell that? A-S.
Purchasing,
Yeah,
I-N-G.
purchasing. Whoa,
Petun.
pay. Tune. Tune. Pay tune is o pay tune. O pay tune. O pay tune is to buy.
To buy,
To buy, to purchase. O pay tune.
but
Wo pay tune is the act of
the
doing it.
act of
The act of purchasing. The act of buying. Wo pay tune. O tuenta bedekte ye. The woman will say that. The man will say, O tuenta bedekte do. Wo pay tune bedekte. I'm going to go purchasing. I'm going to go buy things. Wo pay tune bedekte. Aho, washte. That's good. Dayan yawo. That's good, washte. Dayan yawo. Go in a careful manner. Dayan yawo. O sneakedo. It's cold. It's cold. Dayan yawo. So how many words did I use? Maybe 15? Maybe 15 different words now?
about there.
About there, right? Oh, tô criando, ha. Oh, tá onda. Isso. Oh, tô criando. Oh, pa mais onda. Eu te yap hoje tio. Oni ostekte. Oh, tô criando. Oh, tô criando. Oh, tô criando. We're all okay. Dayan unya kumpido. We're all doing okay. Dayan unya kumpi. Now, if everybody in Sioux Valley knows those 7 words, huh? Think about it. You know those 7 words of greeting, how you're doing and all that. And you just do it in the mornings, okay? You can carry on a conversation. Yeah, all day. Just the greeting parts of it. Just, just feeling good, right? In your community. Greetings, And that's so important because we do that every morning, but we only do it in Washichu. Let's practice that in Dakota. Oh, tokaryo. Ah, washte. Oh, washteda. Nishta. Tokaryo. Oh, washteda. You go to the next one, you say that.
So if we're to practice that out in the community, what if we face negativity or you're not saying that right?
Yeah, then you say, well, teach me, how do I say it properly? Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes, exactly. Well, teach me, how do I say it properly? In a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way, And that's how you learn, But you have to remember that, as I was saying, Ocheti Shakoi, 7 council fires. There's many dialects for the same word. We always hear, oh, you didn't say that properly. It's not right. It could be right in a different dialect. Okay? There's at least 3 dialects spoken here in Sioux Valley. 3 dialects, yeah. So each one is said a little bit different. That's why we criticize each other. Yeah. Well, okay. How should I say it? In a good way. You correct each other, And you learn different words, right? You learn different words. So just for an example, Akan umpi, the one that you put over. Akan umpi. That's Dakota. Another way of saying it in a different dialect is ukhda. 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 See what I'm saying? I can rub this off now, right? That is why I think, well, I know people question each other. What taya ihishni? Taya ihishin do? Yeah.
So like when he handed her that scribbler, what could he have said in Dakota? Woapi yachia.
Abo piyachin, yeah.
No.
Well, that is correct, though. Yeah, that is correct. No, yeah. De yachin. You want this? De
You're
this.
gonna need that.
Yeah. De yachin. You want this,
This
right?
is my second one.
Wo piyachin. You want paper. Wo piyachin. You want paper. Owa means to write. Owa. 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 Owa.
Oh, what? To write? Or just write?
To write? Yeah. Yeah. Owa is to write. Owa is color. Owa?
It just depends on how you say it.
How you pronounce it, right?
Yeah.
Owa to, the color blue. Owa. Owa is to write. Owa, to write. Owa is the. Owa toketu, huh? What color is it? To, or pijito, color of green grass. Pijito. Different colors. Sapa, Yeah. Owa. Owa is to write. I'm owaing. I'm owaing. Akan umpi. Akan umpi, yeah. There's one dialect, and Is that a G or an H? H, right? Da. For the same thing. Coat. Ukhda. Akan umpi. Two different words, two different ways of saying it, right? And sometimes I think that's why we get criticized. Oh, taya ihishniya. Oh, taya ihishni do. But you yourself know that you are correct. Vichayake. Vichayake. So we have to understand that how Takoja. There's at least three dialects that we speak here. Yeah. So you have to remember that. Quote akan umpi ukhda. So henna. So we've used a total of, say, 20 words now. Now, I challenge those of you that are listening, especially in Wipazoka Wakpa, those of you that are listening, use these 15 words in the morning to greet each other. And you can have a fun conversation. Correct each other in a nice way. Uspech ichiapo. Oki chiapo. Oki chiapi. That's to help one another, to be helpful. Helpful. O ki chi ya. Oki chia. Help. Because that's what we're supposed to do as Dakota. We're to be friends with everybody. We're to be helpful to everybody. Okichia. Okichia. Okichia po. Po means Many, all of us, okichiapo, onkichiapte, we help each other. Okichiapo in the community. With these 15 words. Oh, tokenyoha. Oh, stera tayawa undo. O tunta bedekte. Wopitum bedekte do. Aha, tayan yawo. Tayan kuwa. Because you feel you don't want nothing bad to happen. Because you're Dakota. Dakota means friend. Dakota is a friend until you piss him off, right? Dakota.
Don't tweet me. Just kidding.
Dakota is always a friend first. So, now we've learned how to use 15 akezapta words. Akezapta, 15. How to use it, how to talk it. And we can have a fun morning. Pick a koda, Who's your koda? You challenge each other. Hey, koda, hiyo. Come, like that. Iotaka, sit. Dakota unkiyekte, we'll talk Dakota. Unspe unkichichekte, we will teach each other. We'll practice until we're good. If you're truthful, wichaya kika, truthful, you can learn those 15 words and how to use it in one day, one morning. Think about that. Think about that. Eh? What we've just learned today, what we've emphasized, the things that we've learned already past few months, I'm emphasizing again. But saying that we've only used 15 words. You don't need 500 words to carry on a good conversation with your koda. 15 to 20 words in a day. So those are mornings. What about in the afternoon? You use the same words, you just say afternoon, that's all. Vyotahan sampa. We yotahan sampa. You say, Vyotahan sampagde tokadyoha. How are you this afternoon? I'm using the same words again. Vyotahan sampagde tokadyoha. Oh, tayam onda. Oh, tayam mankedo. I'm okay. Makhaba, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. Makhbada. Oh, you want ko ishtima. Uzikia, you have a rest. Ido takeka unioshtektero, you'll feel better. Uzikia, rest. Ishtima, unioshtektero, you'll feel better when you ido takeka. You'll feel better. So now I must have used 25 words. All I put in there was Vyotahan Sampa. That's all I did. Instead of Hachanagde this morning, I'm using Vyotahan Sampa this afternoon. So now you can carry on a conversation, same conversation with the same people, using the same words for the afternoon. Huh? So now it's Chtayetu. You meet the same people again. Chtayetu. Now it's in the evening. Same words. If you didn't meet Takoja that day, but you met him this evening, or I met him this evening, I didn't meet him this morning, I didn't meet him this afternoon, but now I meet him Chtayetu this evening. Same words. Takoja to karyoha. Oh, shtida, tayawanda, oh, shtida. Takto kanukta, what are you doing this evening? Oh, language hichibidektada. Like that, right? Now I added another word. So now we're using 26 words. And we've covered the whole day, right? Just with greetings. And that's all we did. That's all we did. How great is that, huh? How great is that? And we've carried on a meaningful, really meaningful conversation. If you have 20 friends, look at it, if you have 20 friends, you can talk all day. I'm not saying you have 20 friends, but you know, if you had, hypothetically. I only have 2 friends, so my day is done like right away quick. Right, Danny? Danny over here is my Dakota over here. Danny. And we have a new interested member, Washte. This is a Wotakia. Of course, come here. This young lady is a Wotakia. She's a relative. Wotakia. Washte Diana Hida. It's good that you're here too. Washte. There should be more of you young ladies like this because you are the important individuals in a community, as ladies, as females of the community. It's so important. And like the last couple of weeks, I think we talked about the functions, the duties of a woman. And it's an all-day affair. You know, you just keep on working, because you got to look after a house, you got to look after all these things. Like, I got to look after Danny and, you know, like that, right? Sorry, Danny. But it's important, you know, because as I say, language is so important. It shows the outside world who you are, but legally it protects you as an Indian with different rights that we have as the Indian people, given to us by the government, not creator, but the government. I'll use your land, but I will pay your hospital fees. Okay, well, thank you very much, you know. I'll build you a house. Oh, thank you. Feed you. Okay, thank you very much. These are the rights that are given to us as Dakota, as long as we remain Dakota, with the language, with the culture. Because the government is watching you. Government is watching you. Soon as he knows you're not an Indian, no more. These agreements, these rights are just for Indian. Just for Indian. If you're not Indian, legally, can't help you, sorry. That is why I think this is so important. A survival booklet. Unipte. We will survive. Unipte. Hey, mitada. Hey. Mayanunda. Mayano. Let's put that up here. Mayano. A stealer. Who's a stealer that we know? Huh? No. Out there. Government. Steal.
There's a lot of those in the old horse stealing song.
Yes. Manu. To steal. Where's my land? Sorry.
That's how you're gonna sound.
Where's my
You duped me.
yeah.
Huh?
Where's that even our language?
That's not our language.
What's that?
Manu in Ojibwe means
Oh, that's Ojibwe? Okay. Manu, yeah.
but then they spell it different.
Different, okay. Manus-a. The stealer. Stealer. Manus-a. Not sa.
Kind of like a
Not the sa, it's
like a little
sa.
pause.
Ah, sa.
Say that's
Ah.
first.
Ah, yeah.
Manus.
Ah, yeah. Not sa, sa, eh?
Steel, saw.
Sa, eh? No.
Steel would be Manu,
Yeah.
and Steeler would be
Manus,
Manus.
Or you can also say wa, wa,
Wamanus.
wa, ma, nu, sa. Wamanus is the burglar, the stealer.
That's a good term for baseball.
Yeah, steal. Yeah,
Manu.
manus. Actually, my son, he plays basketball, right? And he was wanting different. Remember, like the project he wanted to do, playing games and stuff like that. He wanted to, you know, how you played when you play basketball. You have different words, you know. He wanted to do that in Dakota with his boys, right? I said that's a good idea. Hey, washtido, you know. That way they can just yell around, right? And they don't do it, like the opponents won't know what they're talking about, right? Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I thought that was a pretty good idea. February, the month of February, Wicha Tawi. Wicha is a man, but the animal, Wicha is a raccoon. Wicha Tawi. Wicha, the month of the raccoon. Wicha Tawi. There's a story one time, because that's when in February, later on in February, the raccoons will start waking up. February, March. That's when we Wahamukape, and the old guys used to go in trapping in Wahamukape. There's one time one of my uncles, he said he was going to Brandon, and they used to walk from here to Brandon. That's like 30 miles, right? In one day, and come back again. So, anyways, he was down and walking down in Brandon, the Grand Valley. And you go through the woods and you get to Oioreta, Brandon. So he was walking there, and there's a big tree there. And it around this time, February, he said there's a hole in that big tree. So he took a stick, a big stick, chawichu, katoto. He was knocking on that tree, katoto. Unka wichawa here, because a raccoon looked out of that big hole. So he kept on hitting it. That raccoon got out of that tree, that hole, he took off. He kept on hitting it. Another one will pop out, look out, you know. Akeka toto. 8 of them, he said, came out of that one hole. So they must have been all, you know, warm, eh? Okatape. All sleeping all winter, eh? In February, when they're waking up, he was katoto. He got him out of that hole. There's 8 of them, he said. That's quite a bit. Yeah, back in the day, when the old guys used to do a lot of wahamunka trapping. I used to remember my dad say, if I catch 2 mink, that's Christmas, he used to say. 2 mink. But Oiawa, the prices were better back then. I think mink right now is like $6, you know, something like that. You know. Back then it might have been like $50, $75, a big, nice big mink. He said, that makes a Christmas, he said. Wahamunkapi. So February is Wichatawi, the month of the raccoon when he wakes up. So that's where we are. So Tumshka, nephew was saying that it's going to be really cold. It is getting cold right now. Hahepi opta overnight is going to go to like maybe 45, minus 45. I mean, that's usni. So we might not, if it continues into tomorrow evening, he's the boss and he says, well, we might cancel, he said. So I said, hoka he washti, you know. So, but tonight we'll try our best to keep on learning together. We will help each other. to learn the language. And Takoja is here, and then after break, I'll let him do the next session. Hechitukta, that is what is going to be. Hechitukta, that is going to be correct. That is what we're going to do. So we'll take a little break. Uzium kiapte, toshta ki chipashum dipte. How hechitra?
Just kidding. Mitakipi. I think I'm happy to be here again. Okay, yomakpi. I say I'm happy. Today, Unka is gonna help. We had a lesson plan here set last week, but we didn't get a chance to kind of get around to it. But if you go online, you could study, go on YouTube and you could study. There's different people out there, and I can't remember the exact name, poly, but it's a person that could speak more and learn more than one language, and they've done a study on how men have done these things, and one formula that they do is we'll present that here today on how it was done. They'll take one word like apple. I ate an apple. You ate an apple. We ate an apple. Who took the apple? The apple fell on the ground. All of these different ways how an apple could be influenced, how an apple could be changed, what you could do with an apple. But if you go online though, you could check out different techniques, and there's another technique that you could do is you could take sort of like a poem or something that you know very well. That there was another man that he spoke up to 5 languages, and his technique was he knew by heart the Lord's Prayer. That was for him because he was a minister. This particular person, and he would learn the Lord's Prayer in every other language, and then that's how he would get the flow of a language and how it works. And so I brought that up to Unka the other day, and our Father who is in heaven, they say, in their culture, our Father, wakantaka machpira ekta nakechi. And then it brought up the word chi is another word for the. We had I never even thought about that, by the way, that there's another word that we use for the word the. Instead of word just ki, there's also chi.
Chi, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's one thing I realized hearing that. I don't know what the difference was, by the way, on that one. I don't know what the chi
I think it's the same. Machpeat and akeki,
yeah.
machpeat and akechi.
Yeah.
Same meaning.
It's almost just
Yeah.
a different way of
Yeah.
saying it, hey?
It could be the dialect,
A dialect
Yeah.
difference too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the meaning is the same.
Yeah. So you can kind of get an idea on how that works. Also, I saw the Serenity Prayer that was on the wall over at Tiwala, and it says Daku Brutoksha Owaki Hishi, the things that I cannot change. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's how you say that, so you can kind of transfer things over, and it's real. It makes the language more understandable, how it's done in Dakota and how it's done in English, and so a lot of in Dakota, the noun is described in many senses. There's not, you don't just say it can, it's like something that, you're describing something. And so anyway, so the technique that we have here today, Unka's going to share, because I know I could talk. My voice is going to be shot here in a little bit after just a couple of minutes of talking. And so Unka's going to share I see an apple, taspawan wabada.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have an apple, taspawan baduhe. And then in here, particularly, you're going to understand the word wan. Wan for okshira wan. Wichina na wan. Yeah, whatever. There's something. Yeah. So with that, if you can get time to look up other people that have learned languages, and you can learn different techniques and find out what works for you. It's always best too, just as a reminder, those of you out there, the sounds. The sounds find a word that really struggle with, and you really have a hard time saying that word. Find out what those words are, and then break down the sounds in there and practice them over and over. And like I said before, for me, the word tuchmalcha was a hard one in the beginning when I was first learning how, because there's 2 gutturals in there. And it was real hard, so I'd say that all the time, tuchmalcha. Or I'd say, tuch, just over and over until it kind of, later on when the actual word came up, there's no struggle with it. And maga, 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 like that. And then you'll find out that that word maga comes up other places, or in other words, somehow it'll fit in another word somewhere later on as well. So, uh, so yeah, this is what I'd like to share here today. But we'll be here again tomorrow, and another class coming up tomorrow, and so excited to.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, ashta chicken, huh?
Watch the jacket. Oh, yeah, we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll play it by ear, huh?
Yeah, yeah. It might be a
You know,
little cold.
I know, hope them there. Then
Oh.
I'd like to
Yeah, yeah.
continue.
Oh, ashta.
Yes.
Oh.
Tohanya, huh? How far did you go? 3?
We never even
Oh yeah.
started any.
So what Takoja was saying, there's different ways of learning the language, and it's been tested, tried and true. I know that there's people that talk like 3 or 4 different languages, and how do they do that? And I guess there's a system to it, and this is just one of them. One of these ways that you can learn the language by using just one, do you call it subject? The apple is the subject, right? Or the noun, I guess. I'm not sure what you call it, but using that system, we can use the word apple in many different ways, different situations. Like apple is taspan. Taspan. That's apple. Remember in the Garden of Eden? No, just kidding.
Okay.
Taspan is apple. Taspan wa wabadake. Taspan wa wabadake. And you can instead of taspan, you can use whatever, bread, aguyapi, anything, right? And we're just in this exercise. We're just using apple because we all like apple. So, taspawa wabdake. I have an apple. Taspawa bdu hai. Bdu hai. I have. Bdu hai. This is an apple. No, that's not an apple, but this is an apple. Taspawa hecha. This is an apple. Or as I say, you don't have to say apple, you can say iokapte. De iokapte hecha. This is an apple. Taspawa hecha.
Taspanki de. Or this.
De taspan, you can say that too.
Or de taspan.
Yeah. De taspan, yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
There's the eraser.
De taspan.
De taspan. This is an apple.
Real easy. There's a lot more. It's simple. De taspan. Instead of this
de
is
taspan.
an apple. You
Ah,
don't have to
yeah.
say a whole bunch.
That apple is big. Taspanki hai. Taspanki hai, or if it's right here, you say de. If it's right here, close to you, de. But if it's not close to you, it's over there, you say taspanki hai. If it's way back here, they say taspanki ka. You see? De, and you're close to here, I'm talking to you. This is close to me, de. That's close to you, say ha. And that one's close to him, say ka. De, ha, ka. Taspanki, that apple is big. Taspanki he tonka. That he, taspanki he tonka. Or you can say taspanki de tonka. Remember? Or Taspanki ha, that one. Or da, this one. The one that's closer to you. Ha, da, ka. Da, ha, ka. Way ka here.
Ka.
Yeah, da, ha, ka. Da is closer to me right here.
This.
I'm talking to Takoja Danny here. Taspanki da, it's closer to me. Da, it's right here. Or it's closer to you, so Taspanki ha, it's closer to you. Taspanki ha, tonka. Or it's way kake over there. Takoja over there. Taspanki ka. That one ka.
Furthest or far
Furthest,
away.
yeah, far away, yeah.
Yeah.
Da, ha, ka. And all of these, whether it's de, or whether it's he, or whether it's ka, all of them are dina. All of these, dina. Taspanki dina, tanka. All of these, de, he, ka, dina.
Screenshots. Let them know. Take pictures. Or
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make a little note on here. I like to make the writing big, so I'll be just erasing as we're going along. So if you can take a screenshot on your, if you don't know how, Google will tell you. Yeah. I always think that AI is Uncle Tommy. Knows everything. So we'll start
Okay,
on.
yeah.
Okay. So everybody got that. Here. Yeah.
As I was saying, you could use anything other than an apple, like a cake, or whatever, and to, continue this conversation. The apple is red. Taspanki he duta. The apple is red. Taspanki he duta. The apple is red. Earlier we said that apple is tonka, it's big, but no, it's not. Hechitushni, that's not right. Taspanki is small. Taspanki chistina. The apple is small. De, he, ka. The apple is small. Taspanki chistina. The apple is small. Chistina.
And so this one right here, if we could, that word right there is a ting.
DT kind of a thing,
Yeah.
right?
You could break it down if it helps. Gis, ting, na.
Na, yeah.
Like a little.
Yeah.
So small. Gis, ting, na.
Yes. Okay. That apple looks delicious. Taspanki hai yutapi washte. It looks delicious. It's good to eat. Yuta is to eat it. Yutapi, the apple is yutapi. Washte is good. Good to eat. Yutapi washte. Yes. Yutapi washte. And it could be anything like pie or whatever, This apple is mine. Taspanki de mitawa. You can also say taspunki he, that, not this, that. Taspunki he mitawa. Or none of these two, maybe that one over there. Taspunki ka mitawa. This, that, over there. That apple belongs to my friend. Kodawaye taspanki he tawa. You're a fast writer. Taspanki he kodawaye tawa. That apple belongs to my koda, my friend. And you can use it for anything, like a pipe, you know. Chano pakin ha kodawaye tawa.
It owns, hey?
Kodawaye chano pakin he tawa. That pipe belongs to my friend. Kodawaye chano pa he tawa. Kodawa he.
There's a conjugation on that book for tawa.
Tawa.
Tawa, tawa.
Oh, yes, yeah.
That's a good one on
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take your pictures, everybody. Shh, shh, shh. Come up to your, take a picture of your screen with your camera or something. That helps.
This is pretty good, huh?
Kodawa e taspanki he tawa. You could even say taspanki he kodawa e tawa.
Ah, yeah, you can, yeah.
You could switch that. I almost did that.
Yeah,
Tawa means far away.
tawa.
No.
It
This
has,
is
yeah.
this word over here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. See, I'm
Belongs.
writing them underneath here.
Yeah.
okay.
Owns or belongs, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen as correcting this picture again.
And quit correcting people, okay? I'll give you an F.
We're fantastic.
Okay,
Everybody got
wash
that? Got these? All right.
Oh, wait. No, I'm just kidding.
Hinaka wo, say hinaka wo. Hinaka wo. Yes, yeah. Hinaka wo, wait. Yeah. And this is what Eve will say in the garden. I picked an apple from the tree. Taspawa bdushpi. But there's no word for tree in there. Taspawa chan etaha bdushpi. I picked an apple from the tree. Taspawa chan etaha bdushpi. I picked an apple from the tree. Picking is yushpi. Anything, any kind of berry, doesn't have to be an apple, could be choke cherries, but it has to be on a tree or on a plant. It has to be up. Bdushpi. I pick, yeah.
Takuka.
Etaha, from there.
From there.
Ah. Chan is tree. apple tree, apple that, or apple the tree, from there I pick. Cool, huh?
Yeah. If you to make it sense, you could break it down into 3 parts. So me as a speaker, the first thing I want you to know is I want you to know this. Taspawa, an apple.
Yeah.
Now that you put that in your head, the next topic. Cha etaha. Where at? It's at the tree. What are you doing? I'm picking. Padushpi. I'm doing that at the tree.
Yeah.
So really, when you're a speaker, your goal as a speaker is the first thing is we want to orient you to the apple. We want you to think of an apple, and at a tree, it's like towards a tree or from a tree, and then the last one, I'm picking. I'm picking.
I'm picking, yeah.
And then to make sense, the root word, if you want to look up this, the root word will be shpi on there, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you shpi is to pick,
Yeah.
like that. Do shpi.
Badu is me, right?
Yeah,
B is
badu.
me, yeah.
Yeah. And this is the word you can go in there and probably conjugate that word, that badu, shpi, or this part right here. So anyways, I just thought I'd share that.
If you take the B out, dushpi, that'll be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taslama chan etaha dushpi.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
put that, this for,
Yeah.
this for reference. You pick.
And we've gone through all that before, yeah.
Yeah. This is an idea.
I am holding an apple. Taspanwa yuha nawaji. I'm holding an apple. Taspanwa yuha nawaji. In this sense, if I'm going to be correct, I can say, because I'm sitting down, Taspanwa yuha make. I'm sitting.
So I stand.
I stand, yeah. Taspanwa yuha nawaji. I'm holding an apple.
And does this help? I know you and Tashi Glenn were talking about how to put the sentences together. This helps like this, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's again, you could break it down. The first one, I should. You'll even notice in the language is when you hear language speakers, they'll even kind of slow down. Taspawa, yuha, nawaji. They'll kind of pause. You'll hear that too, because there's different sections, different parts of information that's coming out in different parts. So the first part I want you to know is I want you to orient yourself around an apple. An apple. So that's all I say.
Yeah. Taspanwa.
Taspawa. Yeah. And then yuha nawaji. With I stand. All right. That's really, we want to add a whole bunch of other words like is and are. Like English has more complicated. It's too complicated, actually, English. The problem with most people when they're learning Dakota is it's hard to you're simplifying the language because our language it's a simpler version. But if you could break it down, what my first goal is to tell you an apple with I stand, right? An apple with I stand. So once you get used to that pattern like that, then it starts to make sense. And when you hear our language speaker speak, they'll notice that each part has its own taspawa. You'll hear kind of like a little pause a little bit in there. And then you'll hear Yuhanawaji, Yuhanawaji. And this is what I love about our language too. There's pauses. There's kind of like, it kind of easy to jump between each topic in the language because of just the way the language
The
works.
way it's said, it makes you think about it, right? Taspawa, now you're, okay, it's an apple. You know, what did you do with it will be my thought, right? Yohanawaj, I'm standing, I'm holding it.
Yeah. So yeah, I hear every culture that gives you, see right here, there's like a space. And you'll notice this as the language goes on. We're not the kind of people, Taspama Yuhanawashi, like all the time. There's always like Taspama Yuhanawashi. There's a little bit of a space in between to give you time to orient yourself, I guess you could say. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oop, I dropped the apple. I dropped an apple. Taspawa bedushna. 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 I dropped. Bedushna. I dropped. Or you can say taspankin bedushna. I had it, but now I don't because I dropped it. Taspankin bedushna. I dropped it.
An emphasis on that badu.
Yeah, bedush.
Badu is I.
I, yeah. Do will be you. Yeah. Taspanwa bedushna. Or you can say taspankin bedushna. The apple fell on the ground. Taspan makata hinchpaye. Taspan makata hinchpaye. Of course, maka is the ground. Ta is at the ground or on the ground. Taspanki makata hinchpaye. It fell. I didn't drop it, it just fell. Who dropped it, we don't know, but it just fell. Earlier, I dropped it, bedushna, earlier. Earlier, I saw you dropping it, dushna. But all of a sudden, it was on the ground over there. Who did that? We didn't see it. So, taspanki makati ichpai. We don't know who it is, you know.
How do you say the last one again?
This one right here would mean there's a pause. Right? So you'd say this word first, hinchpaye. If this wasn't here, it'll say hinchpaye. Yeah. Hinchpaye. But then let's put this hinchpaye.
Hinchpaye, yeah.
Hinchpaye.
There's a slight pause in there. You can pick it up, right?
Hinchpaye.
Yeah. Hinchpaye. Hinchpaye.
And then
Hinchpaye.
there's a nasal here.
Hinchpaye.
People are going to want to say hich. Hich.
Yeah.
Get the nose vibrating.
People might have a tendency to pronounce it like hinchpaye, but it's not. Hinchpaye. Hinchpaye. Not hinchpaye. It's hinchpaye.
Or fell. It's actually
Yeah.
fell.
The same apple, the apple rolled away. The apple rolled away. Taspanki kahamihama iyaye. Kahemiya hama. Yes. EI. Taspanki kahmihma EI. And you can use anything that will roll away instead of that taspan, you know.
Hierarchy.
Yeah, tire, yeah, yeah. Or cha kanya kapi, it rolled away, you know. Taspanki kahmihma EI.
Take pictures. Make sure everybody copies that. Hey, I just took my picture. You got no way. So yeah, just take your pictures. And
You can have a whole conversation about an apple, you know. You can sit here and talk about the apple.
Sounding like Bubba.
Wana? The apple is rotten. Taspanki at a. The apple is rotten. Taspanki at a.
it's an explosive T.
A. A. Yeah. At a. Taspanki at a. It's soft now. It's rotten. You know, in a rotten apple, it gets soft, right? At a.
How do you spell rotten?
Yeah.
R-O-T-T-E-N.
Leave it to her. She'll correct you.
I'm not coming.
I just wanted to make him laugh.
Huh?
You're our best student.
Yeah. See, that's how you're supposed to have fun, you know? Have fun at it. You know? Okay.
This is one that's not in the language, English language, so you have to practice. And if you want, you can wear one of those surgical masks because you're probably gonna be spitting around all over. You know. Yeah, so you really have to make. That's why they call it explosive. So I draw it like this. I don't know how you'd want to draw it in English. Maybe like this. I said, you know, a real explosive T with an exclamation point beside it, just to remind you that has to be really loud. Yeah, and you don't use it too often in Dakota, but it does come up. Yeah, Inza would be another word. Yeah.
Yeah, you hardly use that, right?
Very rare, yeah.
That's right too.
Start jamming.
Yeah, big box.
The apple is fresh. The apple is fresh. Taspanki washte. Or you can say taspanki techa. Techa is probably the better word for it. Techa, new, yeah, techa. Yeah. Is that an explosive T again? Techa.
No.
Kinda, no, Taspanki techa.
It's not
Ah.
But is there a mark over the C? Or is
Yeah.
that, yeah?
But you could write it like that if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is just my
as
way.
long as you understand
Yeah.
what you're writing.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah.
For those of you that are here, you know, just learning, that's just my way. But however you want to do it, that's just.
But I must say, here, the C is always a CH sound. Always a ch sound. The C, yeah, always.
It's never,
Yeah.
never, Yeah.
It's always a ch sound. C. Yeah.
Yeah. S could change though,
Yeah.
but C never changes.
C never changes. It's always a CH sound. Techa. Taspunky. Techa.
Or another one you could have just said wash day too.
Wash day. You can always say wash day too.
Just be good.
Yeah, it's good.
Or Uka said wash day could mean pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could mean all kinds of stuff, hey?
Mm.
Like it doesn't just mean good.
Yeah.
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 Because sometimes you'd hear washdewi and that actually meant pretty, pretty woman.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So just a little tidbit of info there.
Yeah. The apple has a worm in it. Oh, it's been sitting too long. It's ta. So the apple has a worm in it. Taspanki wabduda mahedun.
What's he say?
Wabduda.
Oh,
Wabduda with an N, nasal. Wabduda. In this case, you can probably leave the N out. Yeah. Wabduda is correct. Yeah. Mahedun. Taspanki wabduda mahedun. It has worms in it. Yeah, when an apple sits too long, you didn't make your pie, so you wasted an apple. Taspanki wabduda mahedun. Take an apple. Taspan ichu. Taspan ichu. Take an apple. You can say taspan ichu wo. But the female, the lady will say taspan ichu. Kind of like a little accent at the end. Taspan ichu. Male will say taspan ichu wo.
And there's a pause here. Chu.
Oh, how did I?
Chu.
I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm
Oh.
way over here.
Taspan ichu.
Yeah,
If there's no line here, it'll say ichu.
yeah.
Ichu.
Ichu. Yeah.
Yeah, but then if you put this here,
Ichu.
ichu.
Yeah.
That thing is so
Ichu.
important.
Yeah.
Ichu.
Taspan ichu.
If you don't know
Pick
how to
the
say
apple.
this word, watch Man Called Horse. Ichu. That
Ah.
was squishy. Oh, sorry.
Slice the apple. Now you're going to make pie. Slice the apple. Taspanki basdes de cha. That's when I'm telling her. Taspanki basdes de cha. Wo. Slice that apple. But in this case, it says Taspanki basdes de cha pi. They're already sliced in this case. Taspanki basdes de cha pi. They're already sliced.
If we add the B.
If you add pi, yeah. Taspanki basdes de cha wo. It's not sliced yet, but I'm asking you to do it. Taspanki basdes de cha wo. And the female will say, Taspanki basdes de cha. Kind of at the end. How cool is that, huh? We're having this long conversation with just one item with a taspan. Good?
Oh. All right. Yeah, take your pictures. by the way, obviously, we have one of the relatives here recording. As it's going, if you hear something interesting, find out the number on there. That, like, right now, that's at 34 minutes and 49 seconds. If you hear something interesting, write it on your paper, the time that was on there, then you'll be able to go back to it. And then you have a whole bunch of time, like, oh, go back to this, that lesson is on that part, or that part, you know.
And we encourage people to text in too, and give us an idea what you would like to hear or what we should be discussing, that sort of thing. So, a couple more and it'll be 8 o'clock. Cut the apple. Cut the apple. Taspan baksa. Taspan baksa, or baksaksa, cut it up.
We did the conjugation for baksa, yuksa,
We did, right? Yeah. Yeah, we've gone through this. I don't know what a conjugation is, but we did that. So, cut the apple. Taspan baksa. Cut the apple. Baksaksa, cut it up.
You say baksaksa is like chop.
Chop it up, yeah.
Yeah.
Baksaksa.
Because you're like repeating.
You're repeating it, yeah. Baksaksa. Not just once, but many times. Baksaksa. Eat the apple. Taspanki yuta. That will be the female way of saying it. Taspanki yuta. The male will say, Taspanki yuta wo. It could be pie also. Pie yuta. Pie yuta wo. Give me an apple. Taspanwa mak'u. Taspanwa mak'u. Chandiwa mak'u. Give me a cigarette. You get the idea, right?
Explosive K.
Yeah. Taspanwa mak'u.
Maku.
Mazaskawaji mak'u. Give me a money. Mazaskawaji mak'u.
Okay, here, we'll put a little dot here. If that dot wasn't there, it'll say maku.
Yeah.
But you'll hear a ma-ku.
Mak'u.
It's kind of like a little pause.
Ma is me. Yeah.
Ma-ku. With that pause. Without the pause, ma-ku.
Yeah.
It meshes together the whole word.
Yeah.
Now, those pauses here are really important.
Yeah. Because it points out what it is and who it is. Okay. Ma is me. Ku is give. Give me. Ma ku. Yeah. Ku is the giving part of it. Yeah. Ma ku. Ma ku.
Oh, yes. Mazaska maku.
Yeah, it could be anything. Maku. Share the apple with me. Taspanki ukichich upi. Share the apple with me. Taspanki ukichich upi. Yeah. P, yeah. Ukichi, because there's more than one. There's him and I, or all of us. Taspawa ukichich upi. We're sharing it, all of us. P means that. All of us.
For those of you that are just learning, you'll have to practice this one because, again, this word here is not really in the language, in the English language. Chi, chu. Yeah, chi, chu. Explosive C's.
Unki chi chu.
Would you say this one's not an explosive?
Unki chi no. I
This
don't
one's
think
not
so.
explosive?
Yeah. Unki chi chu.
Just how I heard that
Yeah.
here. Unki chi
Chu.
chu. So this is the
This is a-
explosive.
yes, yeah, that
So
kind
this
of-
one, just soften this one.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson right there. Soft C, chi. Hard C,
Yeah.
chi. Soft C, chi. Yeah, good way to. And so this one is the hard,
hard
C.
one, yeah.
Chu.
Chu. Yeah.
Oki, chi,
Chu.
chu. That's a tongue twister, by the way, when you're learning this word. Yeah. So just to remind you, you could do it like this. Just as a little note. Soft. And then this one's a hard C. Just as a reminder for
Yeah.
those of you that are trying to remember. Just that's what those chi, chi, chu, chi, chu. Just think soft, chi, and then hard, chu.
Yeah. One more, we'll be at 25, and then I think we'll be done. It's after 8 now. Don't eat that apple. Don't eat the apple. Taspanki yuteshni. That'll be the female way of saying it. Taspanki yuteshni. Don't eat that apple. The male will say, Taspanki he yuteshni wo. Yeah. Don't eat that apple. Hemi tawa though, that's mine. All mine. Ni tawashni, no, it's not yours. Don't eat it. Yuteshni. Yuteshni. Don't eat it. Taspanki yuteshni. Don't eat that apple. You'll cause a sin. No, just kidding. And that takes us to number 25. Yay! That was enjoyable. I like that. Look at how many ways you can use just one item. Taspan. Taspan, just one item. But you can replace that with anything, you know, and just keep the same sentences going, you know. Awesome. So, hechitu, that is correct. That is how it is. Hechitu. Chtayetu kinde. This evening, our work, uyushtampi, it's done. Hechitu ra, toshtake.